I imagine
Morning,
we may
Andrew.
know
Thanks for having me.
what the Secretary and Chair Jay Powell are going to tell you. I think the real question is what you think the Senate and Congress can ultimately do about it, and whether you actually think a stimulus plan is really in the offing.
Well, Andrew, we're going to have a discussion this morning, I'm sure, about the application of the CARES Act funds, the 13.3 lending facility that we massively expanded for the Fed and Treasury. And there's a divide in Congress about how that is being used. But as for another round of federal spending, another stimulus bill, I think the prospects are pretty far below even between now and the election. After the election, who knows? But no, I think at this point it was probably a less than even proposition before the passing of Justice Ginsburg. And now with that development, I think we're going to be focused on that matter, the replacement, obviously. Right. And another stimulus bill is less likely.
I want to talk to you about Justice Ginsburg as successor in just a moment. But to the issue of stimulus, are you in the camp now that believes that some stimulus still is needed? Or, and we've now had a number of guests come on recently say, look, the economy actually is doing much better. And that's something we've heard over and over. You see companies now reinstating their repurchase programs. How do you see it?
Right. Yeah, no, I'm increasingly skeptical about the merits of yet another round, especially when I consider some of the provisions that would have to be in it in order to have Democratic support, such as sending even more money to the states. You know, Moody's Analytic estimates that there's a range of $250 to, I think, $600 billion in total costs and revenue shortfalls, the high end occurring only if there's another severe wave of coronavirus this fall. We've already sent $500 billion. What, we're supposed to send more than what they spent and what it cost them? Especially when they all have their own taxing authorities, they all have their own ability to modify spending. Some are in great shape and some are not. I think that's a really bad idea. I don't think it makes sense to pay people more not to work than they can make working, which is what we were doing through July and arguably to a lesser extent are still doing. I think you could make a case for maybe K through 12 education, a lot of extra costs there that are tough for them to deal with. Right. I think we should have liability protection for employers that follow standard protocols. But I think the price probably has gotten to the point where it's too high.